Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Saturday Smackdown for the week 13th of September 2014. This video is game number 4 in the best of 7 series played between Aizamk and Mitoe for this event. Again, it will be casted by ZutaZuta and myself, so if perhaps you're new to this series and you aren't quite sure what's going on, then I would recommend watching the introduction to game number 1 in this series. The link to that can be found in the description, and it will explain everything in full. I'm now going to turn on the scoreboard, so if you don't want to know the results of this series so far, then close this video now. Alright, enjoy the video.
Alright, so it looks like it's going to be French versus German.
French versus German, alright. On Patagonia. Neither civ can send schooners. This is interesting, considering this is a water map. I always find it strange that people, like go for civs that don't have schooner. On a water map, Portuguese, I just suppose there's not actually a huge amount of fish in Patagonia. I mean, there's enough to make fishing, like, say, with Portuguese viable, but I think a lot of the time, like Veni VC, whatever it is, he criticizes water for just being ridiculous and that it's so strong. And are you surprised that, like, very rarely do we see players going for water?
It's not very good in 1v1. Veni thinks it's good because he plays team games where you have significantly more time and a lot larger of a map to fish on. It's not that good in 1v1.
I suppose, like, because you have to send that shipment, schooners, in Age of Empires 3, it is interesting that water, like, in every other Age game, water is just, like, compulsory. You take it. But because of that giant investment of schooners, which is a card, which is essentially 700 resources if you compare it to Colonial Age, you don't actually see, like, that investment, like, kind of makes it not so good. Like, you can actually get knocked over by an aggressive build, and yeah, so there's that. But let's look at the game right now. We have Mitoe here in the south of the map, in the color teal, playing as the French, starting with 200 wood and right away laying down a trading post on the back there. Definitely a very good decision to do that. I mean, the trading post being there, he's definitely going to get up in time for that first batch of XP, improve his 3 Carreras, and he can collect 100 wood for his house. And here we see the German player doing the same thing.
Yep. And I actually like the decision to go TP for both of these guys on this map, just because of the fact that Patagonia is a fairly low hunt map. If you take a look at the various resource spawns, there's not a terribly high amount of hunt. I mean, both players have enough hunt, but it's not like Siberia or Great Plains where you're just drowning in hunt, which makes like market starts a little bit less efficient, because this is a map where, like, depending on your hunt spawn, you can argue whether or not it's actually good to get steel traps or not. For French, it's because markets are a little easier to get just in general. I would say steel traps is probably still worth it. But for, like, Germany, where you're not guaranteed to, like, get a market in Age 1 and, like, you have to invest the 100 wood into it in your transition, and maybe it's going to slow down your age up, and you're not really having that great of hunts, maybe it's not worth getting a market until later, when you're going to be chopping a lot of wood or something. So
these civs, both of them, are very strong in Fortress Age, and I wouldn't be surprised to see both of them either semi-FF or, have some sort of it's a semi-FF. Like, that's definitely something that could happen, and obviously a trading post is very good for that. Like, the extra XP is phenomenal.
Definitely. I don't know how much you've watched Ace play Germany, but every game I've seen him play Germany, he does this weird, like, tower in base defensive straight FF for mercenaries, which does work surprisingly well. Like, another
You
one
say
of those
this
things,
every time. You're like, surprisingly well. I love casting with you. You just don't like his stuff.
I like his style. It's just it confuses me.
You sound so sad and upset every time it works as well.
Yeah. But at the same time, I know that Mitoe has seen that style a lot of times, and so I think he knows in the back of his head that that's potentially what's going to be happening, is this wonky tower / FF / mercenary play. And we'll see how he adapts to it, whether or not...
Oh, that German explorer getting trapped here by the French guy and the native scout. Obviously, he's quite close to his base, so that should be okay. But again, being sort of forced into not actually collecting treasures. It is kind of annoying. It'll make it difficult to scout his opponent when he hits up. But yeah, sorry, Zuta. Go ahead.
Well, just to that point, fortunately, there's not very good treasures on this map. But yeah, we'll have to see whether or not that's what he does. Just taking a quick look at his deck now, he does have his standard Age 3 like mercenary base deck where he's got the improved mercenaries. I had never seen someone send that card until I had seen Aizamk send it, and it actually made for very strong. Like he shipped Black Riders and Jaegers, and then like the improved mercenary card, which mercenaries are already stronger, but then you get like 20% more stronger, and then you use like the free Ulans as well. It actually makes for an interesting composition, and he is actually chopping a lot of wood. I'm not sure whether or not he's going to drop down this trading post or whether...
Yeah, he's Explorer's lingering. I wanted to comment on it. There he goes, yeah.
And we'll have to see whether or not he gets enough wood for an outpost. Every game he's made that outpost, and that's always been another head scratcher for me, the outpost.
It's just like such a waste of wood. Yeah. But yeah, he does it. I guess if you see the outpost there, have you tried like being aggressive, or even does it really make that much of a difference? I mean, like if they're playing colonial pressure, it could, like, that's the same reason Spain get it when they age up, right? I mean, you get that for free because of the politician, but it's not bad. But, I don't expect to see Spain, like, oh, there's a forward barracks going down here. Okay, maybe we are I was expecting some sort of Fortress Age, something out of the Fortress Age from Mitoe. Perhaps this is a response to what he expects Ace normally does, or maybe he sees the extra trading post, but maybe, no, it would have gone down a bit too late for that to influence his barracks decision.
Here's the outpost, and it's blind as well, right? Because he hasn't ran his villager, or he hasn't run his explorer or anything through where he hasn't looked at Mito's base. He hasn't looked at this forward location. That outpost is 100% blind. Now it is in a good spot. It is defending his coin line, but it's always been a head scratcher to me why he does the outpost. Sometimes he'll even add two, but I mean, as you mentioned, against the aggression, it is actually going to turn out to be.
It's crossbow pike.
It's muskets, actually.
Is it? He sent 700 wood as his first colonial age shipment.
That's standard. You use that for houses and steel traps and stuff. He's got muskets in queue, and he's got...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's got plenty of coin. Yeah, okay, you're right. So I'm still getting used to this interface.
Yeah, it's still using the 700 wood as well for
housing,
trading posts and stuff. So developing a decent economy behind this. And, I mean... knowing that his opponent is straight FFing, or if he doesn't like explicitly know that soon, he'll be able to infer that just from what he sees when he pushes in here. Makes for the option for him to just stop with just those 10 musts and age up himself, and just have this forward infrastructure as well and be able to use that. It's just like a jumping off point for his own age 3 play. So there's that as well.
Yeah, I quite like this. I quite like starting musks, opening with musks against Germany. Like it's not bad if you then follow it up like behind with a stable and some cavalry coming out. Musk Huss is just better than crossbow pike.
Yeah, it's very safe.
That's the only thing Germany can do. Go ahead.
It's very safe as well. I think it's maybe the more important thing is how safe it is. There's never really a situation where having muskets against Germany is going to be bad. And so as a result, it's just like, it's never a bad option. It's always just something that you can do. And
ooh, this engage 8 crossbows coming out, using the cavalry there to keep the muskets here. He doesn't want them going anywhere. He wants to keep them close, and maybe the crossbows can do lots of damage. But ultimately, musketeers having that ×3 multiplier in hand combat, they just like made short work of the Ulans. And I feel as if maybe, I don't know, like he's definitely evened it up here. But that's a shipment. I'm conflicted as if that's too actually good, having lost all those cav.
It buys him time. I mean, he is almost aged up. He's 80 food short of being able to age.
Yeah, I suppose you get them for free, a lot of them as well.
Yeah. He's going to be under a lot of duress here. I mean, obviously, Mitoe, no intentions of aging at the current time, right? He's invested in TPs.
Full stable as well.
He's got a stable coming up. He's got, Hussar in queue. He's got a decent amount of musks. I do think it would be a little bit of a mistake for him to push in here too prematurely and not use the Huss to be able to deal with these expos efficiently. But just picking off a house or something like that, even if you can do that without losing too many units.
Yeah, losing a musk there. That's already 100 resources. And that house is only 100 resources as well, albeit wood. So really doesn't want to stand there and take losses.
Yeah, but the house is more than just the 100 resources. The house is the availability to actually ship mercenary units, right? Because mercenaries cost so much population.
This is true.
So being able to siege down houses is more than just gaining 100 resources on your opponent. Yeah. It's stopping him from his play. And here comes the Hussar from the right-hand side.
Yeah, going to take it straight for that settler wagon. He doesn't want that stable up, but it goes up anyway. I feel as if here he ought to be targeting the units there, but Minutemen coming out, and he's definitely going to get all of the units in there, and this, like, despite Minutemen being there, still looks rather efficient for him.
Yeah, I'm pretty concerned here that the follow-up for the French player is going to be very, very strong. And I just don't. I mean, there's 6 muskets in queue, Hussar in queue. I think you'll get something like 8 musk and 3 Huss out in this next batch, and it's going to be hard. He is making a bit of a mistake here, I think, lingering this long. Here comes the Hussar though, so maybe he'll be okay. I think he's also making a mistake not going for the houses. As I mentioned previously, the houses really are the key aspect of the fortress-based German play. And if you can deny the houses, you can deny the shipments, which...
Do you think it would have been worth actually just sieging down that house despite taking damage from crossbows?
Not necessarily now. Now, I mean, he has this, like, awkward time here where he went and he sieged 400 damage on the stable. I think that 400 damage would be better spent on a house. And I think from here, I think he should just siege houses. He can ignore the outpost, ignore the TC. I think doing anything but sieging
just killing houses is good.
At this point is a mistake.
And he can just dispatch the shipments as they pop out. I mean, like, those 8 skirmishes, I mean, skirmish is a good shipment, definitely good against musks. But, you know, the cavalry, you know, starting with double musk, and then the cavalry come in, and they arrive just in time, really, to kind of deal well with skirmishes popping out. And it feels as if, like, what's his next shipment going to be? Like, war wagons or something? Like, he wants mercenaries, but the coin...
He doesn't have the coin to be able to do that. I mean, it'll be... does he have 3 war wagons in deck? He doesn't even have 3 war wagons in deck. It'll have to be something like 9. Oh, he does have 3 war wagons in deck.
Yeah, I mean, he can snipe down the cavalry with the town centre fire and the tower, but there's 3 war gangs plus the 3 line that you get for free there. Going to force him out of his base. Yeah, he has been targeting down it's the Hussar, is it?
Yeah.
He seems pretty desperate though. He fights with his villagers a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, here come 8 Expo as well, which are going to make a fairly big difference in this as well.
Yeah, having a ×2 multiplier.
Yeah, a couple of the war wagons getting pretty low. The Hussar's doing a decent job of tanking. The Ulan's almost all dead now. I don't know, it's just this build requires him to have gold, and he's just not going to be able to gather gold. His next shipment, I guess, will have to be 9 Ulan, but I mean, Mitoe knows that as well, right? I mean, he can count the shipments as they come out. He can look at the deck just like we can. He knows that 8 Skirm has been dispatched. He knows that 3 War Wagon is out on the map. What else is there? I mean, there's 9 Ulan. That's like the only next shipment.
Yeah. So now he'll be having like a batch of musks in queue at this point, and perhaps I'll take a look. Actually, we can tell.
He
does indeed have musks. And in like his economy, Aizamk's economy is essentially not doing anything. He's not collecting any resources. These war wagons that he's managed to pull together essentially are the only war wagons he's going to pull together. Like, he can't make new units at the moment, and the shipments he's sending are getting dispatched as they arrive.
Yeah, the good thing for him is he does have quite a few vills out on the map. If we take a look at the little villager war that's been going on the left-hand side.
Oh, he does have quite a few villas. I didn't notice that they were actually generating resources.
But the Hussar have spotted them now, and I mean
they're vulnerable. It's very, very dangerous.
So far removed. Fortunately, Aizamk realizes that this is going to be an issue and is running his war wagons there immediately. Looks like we're going to have one of those weird moments where we just completely shift every unit on the map over
to some other place.
Some random spot where we're going to fight over some hunt.
And with regards to incoming resources, of course, he does have 2 trading posts up with the stagecoach.
Yeah.
and that's obviously generating a nice income of resources. If he can hold, I think he's in a good spot. Like if you're in Fortress, you're
Fight
definitely
CDB, fight CDB. Ah, those CDB
Oh.
fight. Yeah, there they go.
Yeah, they're there. They might as well. They got a good like if you're in the location. I mean, if they're there anyway, like this is why they're good defensively. You can use them to fight. They've got a decent range to tackle them, especially if you upgrade it at the market. But actually bringing them out to like with your army to fight, you have to walk them too far realistically for that to be effective. But since they were already here, this is not bad.
Mitoe being a bit sloppy as well. Has his 4 Hussar there. They finally come into the fight.
Yeah, you definitely want them in a bit sooner.
Yukon shipment has come as well, which is gonna make for.
I think Aizamk's not doing too badly.
Yeah,
if he can.
He's held here, and now he's got all of his villagers gathering coin. I mean, he's up to 500 coin.
He's looking good. Mercenaries soon, perhaps.
Yeah, and 9 Black Riders is right around the corner, I would have to assume.
And if you're in Fortress against an opponent in Colonial, like, you make skirmishes, and I suppose Dragoons, but obviously you get War Wagons as Germany. Skirmishes just counter Musks so good. And the same with Dragoon-style units, such as the War Wagon. They just counter cavalry, and that's really all you can make in the Colonial Age. Like, Skirmisher, like, when it comes... Yeah, Skirmisher Dragoon is just such a better combo than Musk Huss. Like, you can't compete.
He's not out of the woods just yet. I mean, there goes the 1,000 coin. We have to assume that 9 Black Riders is being sent right now.
Yeah. We'll know in about 30 seconds, yeah.
But there's
those
still
villagers,
there's a lot of villagers out on the run right now as well.
I suppose he hasn't really been, replacing his units because he's been saving up for this mercenary shipment, and actually now these villagers getting forced off the resources, yeah.
Yeah, but when the 9 Black Riders come, it's gonna be hard to deal with those 9 Black Riders. I want to take a look at his shipments and see what else he's sent.
And it's worth noting it's 9 Black Riders. It's not like normally it's 7, isn't it? Like you get more because it's Germany. Instead of getting free Ulan, you get extra Black Riders.
Extra Black Riders.
It's so efficient.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be good. He's not out of the woods. He's still behind in terms of just like he's got a good amount of villagers, but they just haven't been gathering. So
there's the Black Riders.
Yeah.
Does the settler count here in this UI incorporate settler wagons as times 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's population.
So Mitoe's economy is actually pretty far ahead if you consider that they're CDBs. Black Riders doing some work though. They are very strong specifically against cavalry. Not so good against musks, but still very strong units. And they are going to make short work of those musketeers since there are just so many Black Riders here. And I think if he can get these villages back to work and start making more units, then he should be okay. It's just that at the moment though, without resources coming in, it's just these Black Riders, and obviously the French economy is still going. Like it's non-stop pumping units at him.
Take a look at the map. Where's French going to gather food?
Like, he's run out of hunt. This is like it's only coin now. Like he
has spice trade sent, which fortunately affects berries, so he is getting decent efficiency off the berries in his base.
Yeah.
He does have stagecoach TPs, which
But look at all those vills just standing around the berry bushes. They're just like, I can't fit.
Yeah, and very soon he's going to be in a position where he's not really gathering any resources. I mean,
and those Black Riders going into hand combat against the settlers there, like they're going to do work. I mean, until the musketeers get there. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm really on the fence about this one. I don't know who's actually in a better position.
I don't know. Yeah,
I think it's still French, but Germany has enough going for him that maybe. I mean, eventually
his fortress, that's huge.
Yeah, eventually he's going to just be out of coin. Mitoe did a good job of stealing one of these coin mines on the left-hand side. Has taken basically the remaining hunt. Still does have a 1 TP advantage. It looks like a couple of these vills getting found out about on the left-hand side. But still has an okay standing army with this batch of musk. I don't know. It's...
Yeah. Like those TPs, you got to assume he's like Mitoe's TP. Like he's transitioned to mill actually. Did you notice that? 6 vills on that mill. These TPs must be on food, and to keep up the units coming out here to make his economy. Like he sent spice trade. Is that even advisable on a map that has so few hunt? I mean, you say it benefits berries, but even still,
berries. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's probably something like he just has in his deck just is a standard like 1v1 deck.
Yeah,
And he's just like ran out of cards to send him. He is still in H2 and he's, probably
running out of
13
cards. Fair
cards
point.
into H2. So he's probably just out of cards at this point. A's being the player who is in the next stage can, has that extra innate bonus of being able to send like that extra round of cards in H3. So
Yeah. So at this point in the game, you start running out of cards, and that does kind of hurt you.
yeah, I mean, it's a huge resource, right? Your XP and your cards is a huge resource. Aizamk is housed, though, once again. I want him to just go snipe that outpost as well. It's so low HP, it's on 100 HP.
Yeah. I think he's just trying to, like, he's going full raid here? I just haven't seen any skirmishes trained at all. And he's just got these, like, tons of Yulon out. And where are the skirms? I would expect to see some.
I don't know. This, instead of that Rex, I would have liked to see him build a saloon. Honestly, this is another situation where I think saloon would have been an okay... Like, he's got lots of gold. Still has a mind left. So
is your opinion of the saloon changed because you've seen that game last week on this map?
Well, the saloon has always been, like, situational. Kill the outpost. It's got 10 HP. God. It's annoying me. He's just going for the base trade at this point. Might work.
Yeah. Like, what has he got in, like, what is the, it's 1,000 coin in his inventory for the German player. Has he got another mercenary shipment that he's considering? 13 Jaegers. It just seems like he doesn't have enough time to get it here before the, like, he's going to have to bring those units back. They are on their way back now.
Might just go down. He might have just been better off ignoring those skirms and just trying to siege down the TC.
Yeah. If that goes down, then the villagers can't garrison anywhere. There's no shipments.
There's no shipments. And then he just probably wins the game. But now Ace is doing a good job, like, buying time for his Black Riders and Yukons to get back into the mix.
Yeah.
He maybe would have just been better off not chasing those skirms.
He's lost all his coin, so he must have the mercenary shipment in queue now, and I think he's gonna get it out. He's not gonna be punished for the slowness of, like, I mean, when you send mercenaries, a lot of the time you're saving up for it and you're not training units because you can't afford to make units and save for mercenaries, and the benefit of the mercenaries doesn't come until obviously they arrive, and he hasn't been punished for that.
If those get out and the TC doesn't go down, the game is over. There's no way that with Mitoe's current economy and the amount of the amount of stuff that Ace has to support it, that he'll ever be able to kill those. So
10 seconds I think until we're seeing this here. Like, he's trying to keep the musks off the town center, though I do think it has enough HP to stand.
It'll survive. And
there they are.
Yeah, and that's game. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a resign here from Mitoe.
Very, very difficult to deal with what he's got here. I mean, Black Riders, they're still here. How long ago did they arrive? They're still causing him problems. Yeah. And now he's got these really, really efficient Jaegers to deal with. Like, absolutely ridiculous damage output. That's 60 damage in one shot against a heavy unit. Yeah, there it is. It's literally 2 Jaegers, one shots one of those musketeers. That's
I think he could have just sieged the TC, and he might have won if he would have just sieged the TC.
Yeah, he could have done.
He probably would have lost every single one of his musks to those 4 skirms, but I think it would have been really, really close to sieging down the TC. And if he would have gotten the TC, no Jaegers comes, his economy is still okay. He's still at 34 CDB. He's successfully transitioned to mills. He still has a little bit of gold left. He still has 3 TPs. Like, I think he probably would have been okay, and then Germany would have just been stonewalled. There would have been nothing else coming, and it's hard to say.
Though. Yeah, because the problem is, like, it's true, but he did have a sizable amount of Yulons and Black Riders, and when they march up to you and start dealing hand damage, they're very, like, they've got a lot of hand attack. You can't just ignore that and siege down a TC.
Yeah, but at that point, they were still running around trying to, like, kill villagers in his base. They
were on their way back, I think, but they were quite far away, and it would have been close, to say the least.
Like I say, he definitely would have lost every single one of his musks, but I think the better play would have been to try and get the TC and stop the flow of shipments.
But such a close game.
Yeah,
like,
very close.
I found it very difficult to tell who was in the lead for a good, like, portion of the game.
Yeah, it was very hard. There was a time when I think Mitoe made a few small mistakes in just his decision making. I think if he would have sent 1 or 2 Hussar off to the left-hand side of the map a little bit earlier and identified
Where
that
the
Ace
food
was,
was coming
yeah,
from,
where
yeah.
all that food was coming from, and would have just like sent a couple Hussar to explore that side of the map, he would have caused huge disruption in Azam's mid game, even
And
more than he
also,
already caused.
just running out of food for the French player like Mitoe, just running out of food,
Yeah,
like not being able to keep up, that also must have hurt him. I mean, transitioning to mills in itself, like, you have to stop making units to collect wood to build these things, and they just gather more slowly anyway.
very,
It's...
very awkward.
absolutely. But let's head on out of this one. What a great game. Into the next one.